Hey guys, what's up? In today's video, I want to talk about moss poles. Now, moss poles are great because if you have a climbing plant, essentially it's going to help support that climbing plant. And if you wanted to propagate your plant later on, your aerial roots can actually grow into the moss pole and it'll begin the air layering process for you. And that's assuming that you're able to keep your moss hydrated. And I feel like that's one of the biggest complaints that a lot of people have with a moss pole, aside from the fact that it's not aesthetically pleasing. But yeah, moss poles are so hard to keep hydrated. Like it's actually very high maintenance. I mean, I thought a humidifier was high maintenance because every 2 to 3 months you would actually have to descale it, and it can get a little bit expensive because if you're very keen on keeping, like, I suppose, a clean environment, you would be using distilled water. But a moss pole, it's like every 2 to 3 days, you actually have to ensure that it's hydrated, because if you don't and it dries out completely, it becomes hydrophobic, it repels the water, and then it's just a nuisance at that point, because now you have to take the entire unit. And when I say entire unit, I mean the moss pole, the plant, and the container that it's in, and carry it over to the shower just to rehydrate. So yeah, moss poles are just not I don't know, there's just something about a moss pole that just doesn't bring me joy. And I know, I did film a video last year showing you guys a little hack as to how to keep your moss pole hydrated, and although it does work, personally for me, I found myself climbing on top of a chair every 2 to 3 days just to refill the vessel to hydrate the moss pole. So now we're just back to square one. How are we going to continue to keep this moss pole hydrated? So yeah. So it's like no surprise that over the past few years, there has been a lot of, I would say, like moss pole adaptations, because we're all trying to figure out a way to keep our moss hydrated. So with that said, let's begin this video by me showing you a couple of products that I did purchase over the years and show you what's available out there, I guess. So this first product is actually the Grow Vertical. Now, when this first hit social media, because that's where I found it, I thought it was a great concept because the backing is plastic, the front is a wired grid, and it's held together by zip ties. And I thought it was a great concept because the plastic backing is essentially going to keep your moss hydrated much longer than a regular moss pole, because a regular moss pole is exposed to air like completely, whereas this is only exposed to air on one side. So yeah, I thought it was a great concept, and I like the idea that you didn't have to fill this up with just moss. You could fill it up with soil, orchid bark, perlite, whatever it is that you have. And personally for me, I actually opted to fill this up with soil amendments. So it was like orchid bark, coarse perlite. Yeah, I think that was it. And yeah. Didn't really work out for me, only because I found this to be very top heavy when I had filled this up. And mind you, I didn't really fill it up like all the way. I only filled it up part way, as to, like, I think it was like up to here, because my Escalito at that time was like that tall. And yeah, this didn't really work out for me. I think when I tried to refill it with my soil amendments, I actually tried refilling it like from the top, but all the soil and everything kind of like fell out because of the grid here, and the holes are actually quite big. So if you do end up purchasing this and you're trying to figure out a way to, you know, top off, I would suggest that you lean the plant and the pole completely back like this at an angle, so then you can just kind of like pour your stuff in. But yeah. Because I had chosen soil amendments, I found that it was quite top heavy, and what I probably could have done was clip more of the wired mesh grid, clip some of this off, so that way there's like more of like a lip here, so it could anchor itself into the plant. Not the plant, the pot. But yeah, it just didn't work out for me. I also didn't like the fact that so I don't know if you guys can see, but the wire piece actually comes all the way out to here. And if you got a piece that wasn't cut nicely, like right up against the vertical wire here, you'll have these pieces that are just kind of hanging out and it's not smooth. So what actually ended up happening was I poked myself a couple of times and I accidentally pierced the leaves on my plant. So that was kind of annoying, but I mean, I guess I could have clipped it back myself, but yeah, I was just too excited about, you know, putting it together and using it. But if I were to ever use this again, that's probably what I would do. But yeah, I think it's just too top heavy. Like the plastic itself is actually quite sturdy and heavy. So if you're, I guess what I'm trying to say is if you use moss, because moss is so much lighter, I think it should be okay. But look at how long this is. You're gonna need like 2 to 3 bags just to fill this up, and that could get very expensive. And mind you, this alone was fairly expensive, and now that I think about it, it's just ridiculous. Like, why did I spend that much money on like plastic? It is what it is. Another product that I actually do like that's very similar to this concept is this, what is it, like Grow Thickly dupe. And I say dupe because this isn't actually the official Grow Thickly moss pole. The original or the actual Grow Thickly moss pole is like a clear plastic, and this is frosted. So this does come in several sizes, and I got the small and the medium. And my initial plan was to actually use these for my Addisonii, but now that I'm looking at my Addisonii, it's gotten quite big, so I'm probably gonna have to use this size right here. But yeah, these are great. I really like these because it actually fits my aesthetics a little bit more, because it's not so like in your face. Like if I were to turn, like, sorry, if I were to put this into my plant and like put it next to the window, I can still see through it, and it doesn't like, I don't know, it's just more aesthetically pleasing to me. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but it's more aesthetically pleasing. And I like the idea that there's these little slits right here, so it's very easy for you to put together. And I thought this was actually quite genius. There's these little slits on the side so that you can actually extend your pole. And what you do is you would slide the little legs into this slit right here. So I should have gotten 2 of the same poles for you so you can see. But basically what you would do is once this is put together, you would take this end and you would just slide it into here. And it actually extends. So I thought that was very innovative, to be honest, to think ahead and say, oh, well, this is a fairly lightweight plastic. What we can do is have a slit in here and just like extend the pole when you need to. So I thought that was very smart. But yeah, you know what? I just realized that slit is only on the small one. It's not on the larger one. Well then, I guess I need to buy more small ones. Aw, shoot. Well, I'll link it down below. I actually bought these off of Etsy. And the reason why I purchased these ones over the Grow Thickly was just because it was much cheaper. And yeah, I can't justify spending like $15 to $20 on plastic. I just can't. I can't do it. And also, another thing is that if you watched my previous video when I was showing you my Monstera albo and how I was able to get it to grow so big, I'm not going to fill these guys up with anything, because now that I wouldn't say that I'm seasoned, but now that I've like did a trial and error, I now know that if you were to just have some sort of material that kind of supports your plant, there's going to be some sort of like humidity dome, I guess, so that it stimulates the aerial roots. Now, it's going to help stimulate the aerial roots, but it's not going to, you know, assist in air layering your plant for you, because there's nothing for it to grow into. So if that's what you want to do, then perhaps maybe when your aerial roots grow to a certain length, you can just like wrap it up with moss and saran wrap, and then it'll just air layer for you that way. But if you wanted something that can, you know, support your plant and help to air layer, like you can still fill this up with moss. That's fine. It's just personally for me, I'm not going to be doing that because I don't really plan to air layer any of my plants. I actually don't prefer to air layer anymore. I actually prefer to just water propagate. But yeah, so yeah, I'm a little bit distracted now because I just realized these larger ones don't have slits. So strange. Anyways, that's not very consistent. So these are the items that I would actually recommend if you were trying to find a product to replace your moss pole. Now, if you're just looking for something that's like cute and aesthetic to, you know, support your Hoyas, I would recommend these. These are very cute. They're just like regular gold wires in different shapes. So these ones are like, you know, supporting women. And monstera leaf right over here. I don't know why I haven't started using these yet. I think when I purchased them, and I do have a couple on my site, when I had purchased them, I had the intention of staking my Hoyas and my binding plants, but then I think like I just got really lazy and then my plants just got too big. So yeah, but very cute. I really like these. So that's that. And this I do really like. So I've transitioned over to, like I said, I'm more into like the aesthetics and how my plant as a whole looks. So I actually purchased these acrylic yew trellises. Now in the past I've used the acrylic sticks and that works fine. However, when your Hoya takes off, it really takes off. So I opted to get these guys. There's 3 different sizes, small, medium, and large. And yeah, I just really like these. So these are acrylic trellises. I purchased them from plantsandglitters.ca. She does have an Instagram. Maybe like I'll link everything down below for you guys. But yeah, I really like these. I actually like put my Hoya Michelle splash on one already. So this is how it looks. And I love it. I love that you can see through it. I love that it's clear. Even got like the little clear butterfly clips for it. Just because I just want to see the plant, you know? I just want to see the plant grow and thrive and just look pretty. I don't want to see like this big stark like black thing or brown thing or piece of wood. I just want to see the plant. So yeah, I think this is a really nice way of displaying your plants. And I also staked up my, what is this called? My Wilbur Graves. Yeah. Ooh, scared myself there. But look at how splashy it is. So cute. This is probably one of the fastest growing plants that I have. But yeah, so those are all the items that I have purchased over the years to basically replace my moss pole. If you guys found any cool and unique, you know, products to replace the moss pole, leave a comment down below. I'd love to check it out and try it out. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.